Rogues are historically the stronger melee class in both the level 19 and 29 bracket, due to how much of their utility they have available at this early level and their burst potential. There seems to be a misconception that since a lot of classes are getting some pretty strong runes for Season of Discovery, rogues won't be able to keep up. I think this is almost completely wrong, as I see rogues getting some insane runes with great value, especially so for the 25 bracket, since some of the runes will cover the lack of the abilities rogues still haven't gotten yet at this level. All three specs will have their place, I think. Some are for 1v1, and some are more for group content. So if you like Rogue, I think you'll have a really good time with Rogue being less popular this time around, at least to begin with, until their strength is truly revealed. So let's jump into it. So let's talk about Subtlety Rogue. So what's new? Between the Eyes is a new rune. That is a stun. Longer for every combo point. So it's like a bit like Kidney Shot at this level in particular. At higher levels, Kidney Shot stuns for 1 second longer. But it has 20 yards range. So that's going to be huge for gap closing. Notice from the shadows, 20 energy cost reduction from your backstab and ambush as well. Shiv. Instantly apply your offhand poison. And then as an option, as an alternative for Shiv, you have Shadow Strike, which is basically a stealth teleport backstab ability at a 25-yard range. You get a fair bit of your core utility. You get Vanish, Evasion for defensives and getting away. Sprint for catching up or running away, of course. Crippling Poison has just become available with a 50% slow. So not quite as good as the level 60 version, but pretty decent. You have a very strong lockout with a 5-second lockout on 10-second cooldown. Probably the best in the game at this point. Sort of, say, maybe Earthshock. You get Backstab with huge damage bonuses from these talents that you see. In Subtlety, you get Opportunity, which provides 20% just raw damage to your Backstab. And you can get 30% crit from combat talents. So these are probably the talents you will go for, which will also provide you from Subtlety a little bit of stealth increase. Your stealth is very slow at low levels, so this can help a bit, as you might want to have a stealth opener with your ambush or backstab. And then, yeah, you get improved gouge to get a little bit more time for energy recuperation until you can backstab again, if you can't get behind the target. And improved Sinister Strike if you can't get behind the target at all. Have to Sinister Strike. And then Thistletea, which will make you able to do Insane Burst, of course, with the Slaughter of the Shadows talent in consideration. A lot of backstabs you can use with that. Subtlety Rogue. In pros and cons, in between the eyes is really important for rogues at this level, as they don't have cheap shot nor kidney shot. That's a huge win, and one of the biggest reasons why you even want to play rogue at this level, because you can provide consistent short cooldown stuns that will help yourself and also your group have kill opportunities, kill windows on targets, and provide a gap closer as well, as it's on a good range as well. So that's a huge utility boost from previously. Keep in mind, rogues are strong in this kind of level 20s meta for Season of Discovery. So as mentioned, Slaughter of the Shadows, backstab becomes very bursty as you can spam quite a bit of them, and it also becomes very good combo point generator, as it's only 40 energy. At the cost of Shiv, you could use the ability to teleport yourself behind the target for a backstab opener, essentially, which could be very useful for raids, to just like teleport in and kill the target and run out again quickly, because it might be hard to get in there otherwise in the open world if there's a large group. And could also be good for just catching up to people in the open world for a quick opener. Yeah, if you don't have quick draw in this spec, because you have Slaughter from the Shadows. You have most of your utility available, as mentioned. Vanish, Sprint, Kick, Evasion, Crippling, all very strong cooldowns and utility abilities. You're missing Blind, of course, and Cheap Shot and Kidney Shot. But yeah, kidney shot at least is quite made up for it with the availability of the between the eyes. You're missing preparation, of course, so that's something for the 40s to get excited about as a Subtlety Rogue. You will only get stronger, a lot stronger with preparation and blind cheap shot openers. You have a really good chance of winning basically most 1v1s, especially if you're using Facility. The only class that could provide you real trouble, mages and Retribution Paladins. You have of course, the option to choose when to fight, which is, per usual, which is obviously one of the biggest pros of playing a rogue in general. You do have a very slow stealth, so keep that in mind. That's why you need the camouflage talents badly. And yeah, you do need to stay behind the target to do good damage and do bursty damage. And you will be squishy in large group combat, and will probably sometimes struggle to get behind the target, and a bit susceptible to being kited. With all that in mind, I place Sub Rogue at the top of the A tier. It's very strong, especially for solo and small group play, and can even serve a certain role in raids when you can swap in your shadow step ability from stealth and just run away after you've killed somebody or opened up somebody, burst them a bit and run away. Yeah, people are very negative about rogues right now, but I don't see it. They were strong before, and they get significant buffs at this level, so they will definitely still be strong. Let's move on to Assassination Rogue. The big changes is that you'll be using Mutilate, which will mean you won't have access to neither Shadow Strike or Shiv, and you will be using Quick Draw because you can't really use sort of from the shadows. That provides some benefit and some drawback. The main benefit here is Quick Draw is really good, consistent, slow. The rest will stay kind of like the same utility and also similar talents because of the same multipliers from Backstab also apply for Mutilate, unless otherwise stated. You can go with this or hit over Camouflage if you just don't really want to be playing in stealth much, which is totally legitimate at this level. And this could be good when you can get a lot of combo points with Mutilate. But the pros of Assassination is you get Quick Draw, which is going to be very good for gap closing at range. I think like 20 yards. And it even provides combo points. So you don't even need to get behind the target or in stealth or get close to them. You can just open with Quick Draw. And as well when between the eyes is on cooldown as your alternative gap closer. So this can be a real game changer for their mobility to stay connected to the targets. Mutilate is going to hurt when poisons are on the target, especially if you get 2 slow daggers, which you can get. You can get some good daggers at this level. That also means you need to wait for crippling poison, which means your opener is not going to be so good because you will have to open with Mutilate out of a Quick Draw. You get the cheapest combo points for a rogue in the game, so that's useful for just a lot of stuns, for a lot of eviscerates. That's why you might consider going into improved eviscerate. You can Mutilate from the front, so you don't have this positional requirement, so that's very reliable and useful for solo PvE and as well for like group combat and large raid combats as well. Much less important to get the stealth opener. This is a much better spec essentially for like brawling and large scale battles. Again, would be very useful for Ashenvale and beyond. Looking forward, at 50 plus you get really strong talents with Cold Blood available and all these multipliers for your Mutilate as well. Even being able to get into some Seal Fate, which will mean you will get potentially up to 3 combo points per Mutilate. So some of the cons is, it's going to be a little bit hard to consistently get poisons on the target as you can't get Shiv. It's in the same slot as Mutilate. They are quite a bit better from level 40 onwards with the Blind and Cold Blood to really burst a lot with Eviscerate Cold Blood. So I put Assassination Rogue in the E tier, as they will be a little bit worse than Subtlety Rogues in most solo or small combat scenarios because of burstiness of the Sub Rogue, and they will be maybe slightly better in brawling in large groups, but that's not going to be all the time, of course. Moving on to Combat Rogue, the other brawling spec. Here you will likely be using Saber Slash. It looks like it's just a little bit stronger than Sinister Strike, as it offers a bleed as well. You will still be running with Quick Draw, so consistent slow. That's really good on a short cooldown, 10 seconds. One of the biggest benefits of Combat Rogue is going to be you get Repost, which is ridiculous value for 10 energy. You can disarm and you can do a lot of damage with that. The only thing with Repost is it doesn't provide you a combo point. But the rest kind of stays like Assassination. The Rogue's talents, you will be going into improved Sinister Strike as it affects Saber Slash regardlessly. Get then Repost and improved Sprint. Improved Sprint is really good for getting out of close or roots. So pros for combat. It's a bit similar as Assassination. You just have a little bit more weapon flexibility, which could be nice depending on what drops for you or what you can get. It's a very solid melee brawler with all its utility. If you can have a healer in the back, because it's not offering the burst or stun locks as you would expect from a rogue at higher levels. But consistently can provide a stun and slows for kill windows. And yeah, you don't really have a need for stealth. That's a good thing, because your stealth at this level is really, really poor. You can just open from stealth if you're somewhat near the target, quick draw, and just go from there. But you are kind of poor in 1v1, in generally, if you don't have a healer with you, or a team with you. But it doesn't have to be a healer, essentially. So yeah, you're missing your major cooldowns, Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry for a dual wield specialization, for just that extra consistent damage and burst, cooldown burst. And sluggish on combo points, which is interesting that combat is now the kind of the worst spec for combo point generation. And you don't get Shiv either for Saber Slash, so you are going to need that quick draw to make sure you consistently keep them slowed until you can apply poison. So again, I feel like combat is offering just a little bit worse value than Assassination. Only thing it kind of does a little bit better is brawling up against melees. Just keep going because of Repost. That's the only advantage it would have over Assassination, to just keep disarming those warriors and other rogues and shamans and red paladins, what have you. That's where they would shine. So if there's a lot of raid combat going on, that might be the way to go. That was Rogues. If you like these deep dives, consider liking the video. It helps me out a lot. And hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all my class deep dives. You can check out my warrior and paladin guides here.